Hey guys, it's the Game Digger coming at you with another episode. Today's big question is, do you prefer physical media or digital media? Today's guests are Kazi over here and Chad, the gaming dad. Go ahead, Kazi, we'll start with you.
All right, well, physical media versus digital media. I'm a collector, so I gotta say I prefer physical media. You can get your hands on it. You get all kinds of stuff with it, and it's there if you need it. You know, if a server shuts down or something like that, it's not going to go away. You know, and being a collector, I like having that physical form to put up on my shelf, kind of like you do, and have that there to admire, or years down the road, pick that off the shelf, put it in the system, and play it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What do you think, Chad?
I mean, I agree too. I'm a collector as well, but also a game player. You know, we all like to play games as well as collect them. And the physical media I really like, but I do buy things, especially smaller titles, indie things, on whether it's on Steam or whether it's on console or whatever. I'll buy the smaller things digital without worrying too much about physical. But if I have the choice between physical and digital, I always try to get the physical too, just to have it, in hand, not just to look cool on my shelf, because I have not this shelf, but I have one too at home, not as extensive, but I like looking at my stuff too and going, wow, I like these games and stuff. That's part of the fun of it, right?
Oh yeah.
So well, and it's usually the same dang price too.
Yeah, that's true.
For you to buy for example, our most recent purchase, I think that all three of us got.
Oh, yeah.
Was our friend No Man's Sky.
Or No Man's Lie.
No Man's Lie. I think you got digital.
No, I got
you got
a physical one.
You got
physical, yeah.
I got digital. I cannot return that game.
We can't return ours either.
Want to. Well, you could. You can turn it in and get money back.
I could trade it in, but I mean, I can't return it.
We could trade it in, yeah, exactly, yeah.
But I can't, And you guys got some cool box art and stuff with yours.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. I have something sitting on my computer, that...
Yeah, there's no reason why the Steam version should be $60 if the physical's $60.
Exactly.
Because it's not the same.
Right.
So...
Now, me personally, I've been a collector for 15 plus years, and as you can see in the background, I've got hundreds of thousands of games, and there will be a game tour rooms soon. But I love to see the art in the games. I love to see the little stickers. I love to see the little decals. I love to see the little... Even back in the old days of Nintendo and Atari, they used to have mail-in, inserts that you could sit there and get an extra T-shirt, an extra, any hat, a comic book, anything that you can get from Atari or Nintendo, or anything that you would get extra with the game that came with the physical copy. You don't get that with a digital copy.
No. Now,
here's the next question. Do you think this is a generational thing? Because we're all three older guys, and we're used to the physical media. Now I look at the newer generation gamers, they would rather just download it and be done with it. Do you think that's generational, or do you think that's more...
I definitely think it's a generational thing. Because everybody that... I think people younger than me, I'm in my 30s, they think, okay, yeah, game collection's cool, but, I'm going to go back to Steam and just do that, or I'm going to my PC. I don't really... Yeah. They feel like they don't really need to do that. And that's understandable. Mm-hmm. There isn't really a need behind it anymore with certain games. Mm-hmm. But I think for us, we grew up having that cart or having that disc, that PS2 disc, that Xbox disc, and popping that into the machine. So we're used to that. We're we've got an infatuation with that even sometimes, and I think that's where a lot of mine comes from, is the nostalgia behind it.
Oh yeah,
I think that's there quite a bit.
What do you think, Chad?
I think it's both. Both. I'm talking in my own head. I think it's two things. One is generational, because kids nowadays are used to now.
Instantaneous. I want it right now.
I don't want to have to, get in a car, go to the store, and actually buy a game in person, when I could just click this button and then
download.
It'll be here. I can play it in a minute.
Yeah.
And, or pre-order it. It'll preload for me. How about
Yeah.
all these preloads before they're even released and stuff? So that's part of it. But also, I think it's just an age thing, because you hit upon the nostalgia stuff and everything. Now, I don't trade in anything anymore, but I used to.
Oh, yeah.
Right? You used to trade in stuff. You used to
Yep.
trade in stuff.
Yeah, I kick
Yeah.
myself
Because
every
when
day
you were
sometimes.
younger, you didn't care about the collection. You just wanted to play what everybody else was playing. You wanted the new thing, like your friends at school. You're like, what are they playing? I'm going to play that too. So you just wanted to get it. You didn't really care whether it was physical or digital or anything else. They didn't have digital when we were kids, but if they
No.
did, you probably wouldn't have cared because you just wanted to play it. But as you get older, you start to see the value in keeping things nice and keeping things around for later when you may want to go back to them. But when you're a younger person, I just don't know that they think like that. So between the instantaneous gratification that everybody gets nowadays, and then on top of that, just youth not really caring about these things quite as much as you do when you get older and have some nostalgia,
See, one thing I'll make a comment on with the youth is we actually have the power to bring that back for them too. Like,
yeah.
I know your daughter has gone back to play some of those older games.
Yeah.
I was over at your house and she's got the DS and she's playing Game Boy Advance.
It's got Pokemon Fire Red in there.
Pokemon Fire Red.
Yeah.
that was out when we were kids.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then, that sounds so old, but it really is the truth. And then my daughter, I bring up the original NES Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade game, and she's huge into the Turtles right now, and she's like, what is this game? Where did this game come from? I'm like, I've had this game for a long time, honey. I played this when I was a kid. She's like, I want to play, So I think a lot of that can circle back around. I don't think graphics or retro or anything, but where do you get that game now?
Unless
to download. I mean, unless you are
Nintendo store, the PlayStation store. And that kind of, for me personally, I think it is generational. I mean, we're three adults that have full-time incomes, and we still think of going to the store, whatever store it may be, to get that game physically in our hands, rip off that plastic. I still love the smell of ripping off the plastic, opening up a brand new case, whatever it is, and going, I love that new case smell.
Smells so good.
You can't do that with a digital game. You can't. And I look at the newer kids, and some of them are adults, some of them are younger adults, but a lot of them depend on mom and dad's income or credit card to be able to download that game or get a gift card from a store that still sells the physical title of the game.
Yeah.
So, but, I look at Steam, and all three of us are big Steam players, Steam collectors.
Yeah.
We were talking earlier, I've got about 70 to 80 games on my Steam library. I don't even want to know how many you've got on yours. And you've got, I don't even...
Almost 200.
Almost 200.
He's got more than me.
Do you see that downloading the games forces you to continue to buy them but never play them? Or do you see it more as it's on sale and I got to buy it because it's on sale and it's a digital only?
Yeah, I don't know. I think we get pulled into the undertow of the on sale. It's like Steam sale, what?
Humble Bumble, Green Man Gaming,
yeah. It's you get pulled into that, and you see dollar signs, you see savings. It's like, oh, I can buy all 10 of these games, and I'm going to play these later, and then. You go back to playing Minecraft or something.
You're going back to the game that you have a physical copy of.
That's true.
Or just one that you love. Like it doesn't have to be always a physical copy. But I mean, for us, it is. I'm still popping in, Skyrim or something because you go back to playing that, or you're popping in even a new physical copy of something. If you're a Madden fan, you're popping in Madden because you're working on your franchise or something.
Or the new soccer game we were playing earlier.
But it's like you buy all those on sale games, and you just plan on going playing those later, and maybe you will someday. But I know folks that have tons of games that are just like, I'm buying all these games that I'll never play again.
See, I'm kind of new to Steam because I didn't really have a computer that could play games very well up until this past year. And so I actually been finding myself buying games that I already have just because I want to see how good they possibly look. I always heard they look better on PC. So stuff that I already had on 360 or on PS3 or whatever, I may have already played it and I liked it, and I'll buy it again on Steam if I see it on sale, just because I want to put it on Ultra and see if it's that much better. And sometimes it is and sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
But I get sucked into just the whole, everybody saying that the PC stuff is so much better and the sales really grabbed me, but really that's not what this video is about. It's about digital versus physical.
Yeah.
And so for whatever reason you get pulled into Steam and stuff, you're at the mercy of Valve, because if they just decide to go, we're rich enough, we're done, and they turn off their whole system someday, you might not be able to play all that stuff that you bought. I'm sure it's in the fine print there somewhere that no one ever reads, but you have to click on it every time you buy something.
Right.
Yeah. I don't have to click on anything when I buy something at the store. I just have to give them my money and walk out.
Well,
you know?
And to circle back around to TMNT 2, the arcade game, we talked about this earlier. You know, I popped my copy in because I've got it on the NES. I popped that in, and I also have a physical game that you can unlock that on. And still have that on your physical thing. I've got TMNT 2 Battle Nexus for the Xbox.
Yep.
And you can unlock the arcade mode.
Right.
Yep.
Now, you downloaded it on Xbox Live.
Yeah. When Xbox Live first came out, I bought a whole bunch of stuff on the original Xbox, and then I bought a whole bunch more stuff on the 360, some of which I'm really glad that I bought, like the arcade version of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but now they lost the license to that, so I dare not delete it because I can't re-download it even though I've already purchased it. It's part of that fine print I was talking about. We were talking about PT, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, that was a free game, so I can't really fault them for saying that you can't download it anymore because it was free in the first place. It was a demo.
But it's freaking awesome.
It is awesome.
If you like scary games.
But going back to that Turtles game, I paid for that. And if I delete it, I can't download it anymore.
No, you're right.
It's gone.
The only comparison to that in my head would be destruction of the physical copy. You know, if you destroy your physical copy, you have to go buy it again.
Yeah.
But that's a lot less likely than you having to maybe.
Well,
but it's your right to be able to physically destroy that, or it's stepped on. A digital copy, if you downloaded it, it's on your hard drive. It can't be damaged unless your hard drive becomes corrupt. And that kind of saves the whole purpose of physical. You could lose the instructions. You could lose the disc.
Yeah.
With a digital copy, you don't lose it. It's always on that hard drive as long as that hard drive is available.
Yeah.
Here's the next big question. I think this is probably a future off and long ways down the road. Do you see... Obviously, PC has become all digital right now, with a very few small amount of games that are really just physical copies anymore. Do you see the consoles, Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo, becoming digital only in the future?
I think they would like to.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think. I mean, it's just economically going to happen, and just conveniently going to happen. Like you said, a lot of people are just a now kind of thing, where they want to download. And those platforms want to capitalize on the addictiveness of Steam.
Yes.
Okay, so they're going to want to grab that piece of that pie, and they'll have their sales. I mean, you already see the flash sales on the PlayStation.
Yeah. Well, it costs them nothing to put it up there for sale.
And you're already starting to see it with some games. Like I said earlier, we were chatting. Go buy a physical copy of Mega Man 9 and Mega Man 10.
That's easily... You're dishing out the Johnny Manziel money right there. I mean... You're spending lots of money for one physical copy, where you might spend a night.
You cannot buy 9
of
those.
I'm stupid.
there's no physical.
Those were digital download only.
But you're making a good point, and that's what we talked about too. Is the Suikoden 1 and 2 games?
Yeah,
those are super expensive. The PS1 games that are real rare. You're spending hundreds of dollars to get those, where you can buy each one for $10 on the PSN now. Or the PlayStation
and if it's on sale, you might even get it cheaper.
Yeah.
I mean, the same thing goes for all these Nintendo games that everybody's buying. You know, if you want to have a wall full of Nintendo, it's going to cost you $100,000 or something to buy all these games anymore. Yeah. But you could just go on, you know, Nintendo's eShop, and like you said, Mega Man. You can buy every Mega Man title there was for like $5 or $6 a piece. Whereas if you want to buy if you just want to get like the first 3 or 4 Mega Man titles on NES physical cartridge, they're at least like $30 to $40 a piece.
Or
you know,
or you could be a dirty pirate and emulate it. But, we're not going to go that way.
EverDrive.
That's digital as well.
So I mean, there's good points and bad points, I think, to each argument, and
right.
I think all of us are on the side of physical,
yeah.
and I think the ultimate points for us is the nostalgia and just that's what we grew up with, and that's what we like because we like to see that physical case, to open it up and read the back of it and take out the instruction manual, which pisses me off nowadays. Nothing has an instruction manual anymore.
You're lucky to get that.
Yeah. If that, yeah.
I mean, we salivate over the little advertisement that's in there now.
You can't even go to the bathroom when you get home after buying the game and read the manual anymore. There's nothing to read. You got to watch YouTube.
What's that?
But thank you guys for coming. And next time, if you guys want to comment below on what you think, physical versus digital, please let us know in the comments below. I am the Game Digger. This is Kazi. This is Chad the Gaming Dad. And we'll see you soon.